Wait a sec. That can't be the title of this video, can it? It is? Okay. Oh. Anyway. What's up, NASCAR fans? What's up, motorsports fans? Mike here. Welcome back inside the garage area. And yes, you're reading right. This is the title of this video. So, let's get to some good news and some kinda bad news first. First, two pieces of good news. First off, SRX. I'm not saying that right, sorry. The Superstar Racing Experience has revealed their broadcast team for their inaugural season. Only 6 races, but it's a superstar lineup. Lindsay Zarniak is the host on CBS Sports. They've got Brad Daughtry, Matt Yoakum in the pits, driver analysts Danica Patrick, James Hinchcliffe, Dario Franchitti, but the biggest boy of all will be Mr. Alan Bestwick. And I'm going to show you the window right now. There he is. So, rolling down the list. Host is Lindsay Zarniak from ESPN and TNT. Roaming analyst Brad Daughtry from ESPN, currently on NBC. Matt Yoakum back in the pits after being let go by Fox, unfairly I might add. Driver analyst Danica Patrick for the first 2 races, then Hinchcliffe, then Dario Franchitti. And now, the triumphant return of Alan Bestwick. He's been doing some college basketball games for Fox Sports. He last did motorsports in 2018 when ABC's deal with IndyCar ran out. He did NASCAR for NBC, TNT, ABC, and ESPN until 2014. And he started in radio with MRN in the early 90s. So, quite the superstar lineup. Of course, on the track you've got Tony Stewart, Schrader, Bill Elliott, Bobby Labonte, all these older drivers in the Superstar Racing Experience. But I'm excited for the SRX. June 12th at Stafford, their first race. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, another piece of news right now, and that is the May 9th Darlington race finally has its sponsor. And per Adam Stern, if I can find it, that is. Per Adam Stern of Sports Business Journal, Goodyear will be title sponsor of the new NASCAR Throwback Cup Series race at Darlington, its first ever race entitlement in North America. Take a look at the tire they will be running. They're replacing the Golden Eagle with a blue streak design like what they ran in the 60s and 70s. Looks awesome, and I've seen a couple of the throwback schemes that the drivers will be running. They look fantastic, not gonna lie. So, interesting to see how this will all play out come May 9th at Darlington. One more piece of news for you guys. Again, per Adam Stern of Sports Business Journal, NASCAR will soon start letting a single-digit number of vaccinated sponsors and guests per team to get back into the garage area and pit road, but no hauler tours. It also says that vaccinated team owners will also start being able to go back and forth from the infield to the suites. this is going to be a key part in fostering relationships with potential sponsors, those who want to get into the sport. And if these sponsors want to get into the sport, they want to feel like they're actually at the track, part of the race experience, and feel like they can win on Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, Friday night, whatever. And being able to go from the infield to the suites, garage area, pit lane, that's going to be a crucial part of that experience. And this is going to be a part of that slow rollout of getting back to pre-COVID normalcy. You're going to be seeing the team owners, the sponsors, the sponsor representatives into pit lane, into the garage area first. Then slowly but surely the fans will get back in. We're not going to see it day one. We're not. But we may start seeing it as the season wears on, as we get past the 600, as we get into the chase. That's what I believe. And I happened upon something from Bob Pockrass from Fox Sports. About this matter. That's not it. There it is. So let me pull it up for you now. And we'll play it.
We got so many guys that love racing, key people that support our race team. I'm sure other race teams out there are the same way. And we need to, as quick as we can, get those people in, inside, back where they can get and enjoy racing again. I think most of our key sponsors, the CEOs and upper management of our sponsors, most of them, as I continue to talk to them, have both vaccines. And so hopefully that's going to make a difference too. I have, and I know a lot of people on our team have. So I'm hoping that that's our breakthrough. But it's a huge deal for us, and we need to get our partners back with us. And so I'm sure hoping, I know NASCAR's talked about it, I know they're doing everything they can, but that would be a huge deal for us.
Okay. So you heard Joe Gibbs' comments. It'd be a huge deal for NASCAR to get the sponsors and the teams back into the garage area, the partners back into pit lane. Now, unfortunately, I have to break the bad news, somewhat bad news, about a track that we're all hoping to get back on the schedule soon, sooner rather than later, and that is the Nashville Fairgrounds. That little 3/5 mile speedway in Nashville, and good gosh, what more can I say about it? Now, the mayor of Nashville signed a letter of intent to get renovations started and hopefully finished by 2022 so they can get at least one NASCAR touring series back at the Nashville Fairgrounds that season. Unfortunately, that ain't happening. We take a look now at an article I found on NBC Sports. There was a meeting yesterday in Nashville. Let's get this ad out of the way. And a Fair Board commissioner said during that meeting there's not going to be a NASCAR race at the Fairgrounds Speedway in 2022. Apparently there's just too many obstacles that Mark Smith, SMI, Bristol, and the city of Nashville have to overcome to get renovations at least started in the time frame that they need to get Nashville Fairgrounds ready for 2022. So, according to this article, the Nashville Fair Board Commissioner said during Tuesday's meeting there's not going to be a NASCAR race at the Fairgrounds Speedway in 2022. Speedway Motorsports, through Bristol Motor Speedway, is working on a deal with the City of Nashville for a long-term contract to lease, manage, and operate Fairgrounds Speedway. As part of the deal, SMI will assume financial responsibility for renovations and maintenance of the track. That is subject to approval by Nashville Board of Fair Commissioners and the Metro Council. SMI has a letter of intent with the city to finalize the agreement before July 31st this year. And I'll pull up the letter of intent right now for you to try and read through. It says the goal of this transaction is to renovate the historic Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway to make it a valuable and treasured part of the newly redesigned and developed Fairgrounds campus, and to create a holistic destination for residents and visitors. A properly designed and renovated NFS will welcome top-tier NASCAR events and create a positive impact for Metro Nashville. Summary. Metro will provide funding and necessary footprint to complete renovations necessary to bring Fairgrounds Speedway to NASCAR National Series event standards. Metro will fund the project through issuance of bonds. Can't talk today. In an amount to be agreed on by the parties, anticipated to be approximately $50 million. Yikes! Project revenues generated by the renovated facility are expected to include recapture a portion of the state sales tax collected from events held at Fairgrounds Speedway, local option sales tax, user fee to be added to each ticket sold for events at Fairgrounds, lease payments from Bristol, revenues from events other than racing, and net revenues from naming rights for the facility. Final design for the project shall be a celebration of Nashville history, meet NASCAR safety and design standards, and shall create a multifunction facility that is useful for a variety of tourism-related events. Final capacity for Nashville Fairgrounds spectator seating areas will be sufficient to best support the uses described above and consistent with requirements of laws relating to funding sources. And footprint for Fairgrounds Speedway is currently expected to be as represented by the site plan attached as Exhibit A, including expansion space beyond its current boundaries outside turns 1 and 4 of the current speedway for spectator seating and a multi-use building, sufficient space behind the current grandstands to ensure safe ingress and egress to and from the facility for guests, operations, and EMS, sufficient parking and operational space for uses of the facility, and design of all roads and other methods into the fairgrounds property must allow for space and access to meet all security requirements. And it just goes into Bristol from there, as well as the Nashville SC MLS Stadium. Of course, signed by Mayor John Cooper and Marcus Smith from SMI. Back to the article, Jason Bergeron, a relation to Tom Bergeron, Fair Board Commissioner, raises concerns Tuesday about the time period for details on the Speedway project. Those are expected to be revealed May 11th at a public meeting, as well as public input. He says, I'm not clear why this isn't a longer period after the May 11th meeting for more public input. He understands the goals, and he says, the more I dig in on this timeline of urgency, we need to be honest here. There's not going to be a NASCAR race at the Speedway in 2022. There's no way that construction of basically an entirely brand new Speedway facility is going to be complete between late summer 2021 and in time for next year. And I hate to say it, but he's right. But with all the players involved that want to make this happen, of course you got Marcus Smith from SMI, who owns who knows how many tracks, including North Wilkesboro and Nashville Fairgrounds. You got Mayor John Cooper, Mayor of Nashville, Dale Jr. Of course you got Chase Elliott. Chase is, of course, my favorite driver and a big proponent of the fairgrounds. They're going to make it happen. I know they're going to make it happen. Of course, the people are involved in trying to stop this. You got the fair boards. I don't know where the fairground boards are in this. Are they for the fairgrounds? Are they against the fairgrounds? Are they neutral? I don't know. But I want to see this happen. I want to see Fairground Speedway back on the NASCAR schedule. Jerry Caldwell, Executive VP and GM of Bristol, said, "We are very pleased with the progress we are making with the Metro stakeholders surrounding Fairground Speedway, and we're not a place to predict specific timing. However, there is tremendous excitement among drivers, race scenes, sponsors, and fans about the future of Nashville Fairgrounds." And Caldwell's right. I do see a future for the Fairground Speedway. I do see NASCAR returning, but it's not going to be in 2022. More likely, it'll be either 2023 or 2024 that we'll see Nashville Fairgrounds returning. North Wilkesboro, on the other hand, that's going to need a lot of work. But with Junior, with Marcus Smith, and with Marcus Lemonis working on it, I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Now, Junior wants to bring his team into the Cup fold. Let me pull that up right now. And I have a Beyond the Flag article about this. So, per Fansided's Beyond the Flag, says, after Josh Berry's win in the Xfinity race at Martinsville, they're asking, could Junior look to take JRM Motorsports to the Cup Series after 17 seasons of Xfinity competition? In a Twitter post, said, "It's great to see my friend Josh Berry live his dream. Great job to Taylor C. Moyer and the boys for putting him in position. Martinsville's a special place. JR Motorsports is on a roll." That led to further discussion about the future of Berry and JR Motorsports. Junior admitted that he and his sister, Kelly Earnhardt Miller, have had discussions about taking their team to the Cup Series. With this new Gen 7 car set to be introduced to the Cup Series next season, it's going to be cutting a lot of costs from what it takes to get into the Cup Series right now. But there's still going to be challenges. Specifically, that charter system, which I still hate. And on RBN, Racing Boys Broadcasting Network, Junior said, With the new car coming in, me and my sister have certainly talked a little bit about whether that presents an opportunity for JRM to go into the Cup Series. I think the charter makes it a big challenge for us. It's a huge financial challenge for anybody to get involved in the Cup Series. We're not deep into conversation about it, but when the new car comes out, I think you have to ask yourself, is this a moment we need to consider if we would ever get into Cup? Is this the time to look at what we're doing and see if that makes sense? But I think it would be irresponsible for us not to at least look at what getting into Cup with the big turnover of equipment, new race car, what that means. Getting into the series is so hard. The money you're going to need that's required to race there and be competitive more than doubles. We don't have a partner right now who's willing to make a commitment like that, so that keeps the conversations pretty short between me and Kelly. But I think you have to ask yourself, with this new car coming along, it would be irresponsible not to, I think. And he added that Josh Berry would be a driver who he'd love to build around if JR Motorsports were to venture into the Cup. And with the win, this is going to open up a lot of doors for Josh Berry. Because he's now proven that he can win at the Xfinity level. So it could open up a door for a full-time Xfinity ride in 2022. And if he can remain competitive this season, it might open the door to a Cup ride. You never know. But anyway, let me know what you think about Alan Bestwick's return. Let me know what you think about what Goodyear's planning for their first race entitlement in North America. What throwback scheme is your favorite for the upcoming Darlington throwback race? What you think about JR Motorsports potentially jumping into Cup? And where do you see the Nashville Fairgrounds going? Do you see it coming back in 2023, 2024? When do you see Nashville Fairgrounds coming back to NASCAR? Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully Thursday I may do something on Twitch talking NASCAR while I play Town of Salem. Anyway, I'm heading into the garage for now. I'll see you later. Rock on.